With so much else going on, it's easy to forget we're still in the midst of Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York over those hush money payments to Stormy Daniels way back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The jury selection process leading up to the trial provided a lot of great content because selecting an impartial jury for a trial involving probably the most polarizing figure on earth is a pretty absurd situation. On the other hand, the trial itself hasn't been nearly as interesting, mostly because it's mainly just stuff you've heard before if you've been following this saga for the past 7 years.
Also, it's just people reporting from the court. There's no crazy video to be like, wow, look how crazy this is.
Yeah.
Or they really nailed the cross-examination. You're just hearing retold versions of it and then constantly hearing about Donald Trump falling asleep and waking back up as if he's not an 80-year-old man.
They've spent almost 2 weeks just submitting into evidence shit all of us already knew.
There have been a few highlights out there, particularly Trump's complete inability to follow the rules of his gag order, limiting what he can say publicly about the case and the people involved in it, which with any other defendant would have gotten them thrown in jail by this point. But for Trump, it just means he has to keep paying relatively small fines of a few $1,000s. I think he owed $9,000 because of it. Yeah. But the judge said, you try it again.
Hey, mister.
I might have to throw you in jail.
You got another thing coming.
Uh-huh. He also gets to at least slightly accomplish his goal of delaying this trial as much as possible because every minute spent in hearings regarding the gag order is a minute not spent on the actual trial. But hey, at least these contempt of court hearings are also providing some good content. For example, here's Business Insider.
On Thursday morning, prosecutors at Trump's Manhattan hush money trial argued that he violated his gag order last week when he made 4 on-camera statements attacking witnesses and the jury. Things got weird when his defense attorney, Todd Blanche, complained that Trump must remain silent about witnesses and jurors while his opponents get to say anything they want. Trump's personal attorney turned nemesis, Michael Cohen, can take whatever potshot he chooses, Blanche told the judge. But Trump must remain silent, Blanche added, even when Cohen mocks him as Donald Von ShitzInPantz, a favorite insult on Cohen's podcast and his account on the social media site X.
Boomer joke.
Blanche proceeded to read that colorfully worded offending post into the record as Trump sat listening at the defense table. This one says, "Oh my, ShitzInPantz," Blanche recited as he entered a screenshot of the post into the court record as Exhibit 64, without any objection from prosecutors. The official court stenographer duly followed along, typing the phrase into the court record as ShitzInPantz.
Now, in addition to the name Donald Von ShitzInPantz being read into the permanent court record while Trump had to just sit there and take it, we got some amazing work from the courtroom sketch artist. Here's a post Michael Cohen shared on Twitter a few weeks back featuring an AI-generated image of Trump in an unflattering, skin-tight orange superhero costume. And here's the courtroom sketch of Trump looking at that very same image in the courtroom as his lawyers present it to the judge.
I need an animated show, fully animated in courtroom sketch style.
Yeah, it's really something. But anyways, it's doubtful that too many people would have heard Michael Cohen call Trump Donald Von ShitzInPantz if Trump's lawyers hadn't brought it up at this hearing. But all the news reporting around it has now helped reignite a long-running debate over whether or not Donald Trump does, in fact, shit his pants.
Your Honor, he called my client Donald Von ShitzInPantz in reference to long-standing rumors that he does, in fact, shit his pants. Just so everyone knows that. A lot of people think my client, Donald Trump, poops his pants. They say he smells really bad. Don't Google it, because it's not true. But a lot of people who've met him say he probably poops his pants and wears diapers.
In the honor of being totally impartial, we ask that all the jurors rub Vicks Vapor Rub under their noses. Not for any reason, just to make sure that you don't smell anything emanating from the former president.
The only sense you need to be using in this courtroom is your ears.
Yeah.
Not your nose.
And common sense up here in the brain.
Yeah, in your brain sense.
Yeah.
So back in December, former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger wrote on Twitter, "I'm genuinely surprised how people close to Trump haven't talked about the odor. It's truly something to behold. Wear a mask if you can." And he later elaborated in an interview saying, "It's not good. The best way to describe it, take armpits, ketchup, a butt, and makeup and put that all in a blender and bottle that as a cologne. That's kind of that. I've been amazed that everybody's just kind of learning about this now." And before that, for years, people who were contestants on The Apprentice or served in the Trump White House have made comments about him smelling bad.
As someone who literally worked in a fucking nursing home when I was like 17 years old.
They all smell bad at a certain age.
Yes, they are nose blind, first of all. Second of all, caking themselves in makeup, especially the older ladies.
Yeah.
And then, so dousing themselves in every kind of cologne and perfume. And always pooping their pants, farting.
They're nose blind, and a certain generation of boomer is particularly nose blind. If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
So these people making these claims, they all, of course, deeply dislike Trump on a personal level for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But the most vivid descriptions of Trump's alleged incontinence have come from a guy named Noel Kassler, who worked on the crew for The Apprentice for several seasons. So here's a few things that he's said over the years.
He would often soil himself on The Apprentice set. He's incontinent from all the speed, all the Adderall he does, all the cocaine that he's done for decades. His bowels are uncontrollable. We'd have to stop the show and change him, and that was Keith Schiller's job. He would take him off set, he would wipe him down.
Jesus.
Our nickname for Keith was Wet Wipes. It's not a joke, it's happened several times. The crew nicknamed Celebrity Apprentice The Shit Show because he would soil himself during tapings, often after flying into a rage and cursing out the script department because he couldn't read a 3-syllable word.
Revealing that Ivanka Trump was also aware of her father's issues of soiling the pants, Kassler added that Trump does it and he almost sits there unaware of it. And one time he saw Ivanka have to kind of go whisper in his ear, and then Keith came and took him off stage. One time there was the word arbitrage on a cue card, and he started screaming that the script department was setting him up. "You're setting me up!" And he just freaked out and then very loudly evacuated his bowels, and you could smell it. And the guy who was holding the boom mic was tearing up.
Oh, no.
And that's where the nickname The Shit Show came from. That was the crew nickname for Celebrity Apprentice, he added.
Wow.
I want to believe.
I do want to believe. It seems far-fetched, especially back in the Apprentice days, but I do love the idea of someone getting so angry they poop their pants because it's the only recourse they have.
I mean, it's a tier 1 move that every baby knows that most adults, we forget that, when you run out of cards in your deck,
you shit yourself.
You've always got an ace in the hole, the butthole.
Mm-hmm. Then Keith has to come and wipe you down.
All right, Keith.
Get in here. I need to change my diaper.
Keith, wipe me.
And bring me a Coca-Cola. Delicious Coca-Cola.
Nice bubbly Coca-Cola.
And a tall glass of warm milk. Ooh. Anyways, yes, there's also a ton of photos and videos over the years where it definitely looks like Trump is rocking a little bit extra padding down there. And there's also a few clips from his presidency where it definitely seems like he might have spontaneously shit himself.
It's ridiculous. So today we're here in a bipartisan...
But who knows? Who knows? He's done things that are so much worse.
Yeah.
On a scale of... Like, this is so low.
It's pretty inconsequential.
Yeah. It just is funny that this evil man is constantly pooping and farting himself into becoming a very smelly boy.
A very stinky boy.
So he obviously wouldn't be the first 77-year-old man to rely on diapers. But what's extra weird is, and we can't 100% confirm this because it's so bizarre even by MAGA standards, it's that some Trump supporters are apparently showing up to his rallies now wearing solidarity diapers.
What?
I refuse to believe, but I still am curious.
Actually, pooping your pants is pretty cool.
If pooping your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Think of all the time you waste sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
When you could be leading.
Yeah. Would you want to have that call at 3 o'clock in the morning? The call that everyone never wants to hear?
Right.
And you want to be on the toilet pooping and cleaning yourself? President
Xi has launched nukes. Oh no, the president is in the bathroom pooping on the toilet like a human adult.
He smells like shit and he's ready to go.
You want a president who carries that poop with him.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, aside from in addition to the solidarity diapers, custom merch with messages like "diapers over Dems" and "real men wear diapers." Come on, this can't be.
I don't know. It seems fucking real. Like I assumed it was fake, but I have a pretty good eye for this shit. And like, if it's photoshopped, whoever did it did an amazing job because it's on all these like textures, and they did a fantastic job with aligning it. It's either that or these are trolls, but they don't look like trolls. They definitely look like MAGA people.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, some trolls showed up and handed this merch to actual MAGA people and got them to take a picture, but like, I don't know. It's so fucking weird, even by MAGA standards.
There's that one account that's been doing a great job of fooling people over the past couple of weeks. He had the picture with
I know. That shit is so obviously fake.
Yeah.
And it drives me insane when people
Dude, the Mike
don't
Lindell
realize
thing that's been going around where people are
Yeah.
like, wow, he looks like the guy from the Undertaker's. What the fuck's the guy's name?
Yeah, it looks like Paul
Boebert.
Yeah, Gary Peterson. I've been following that account for years because, like, yeah, his it's just funny Photoshops making like Kyle Rittenhouse look fat and have rosy cheeks and shit. But yeah, like it seems like every week lately people are like, I can't believe you all fell for that. I'm like, no, I didn't fall for it. I just thought it was fucking funny. I can't believe anyone would fall for this. It looks ridiculous.
But this is like when they were saying or wearing merch where it was like, I would take Vladimir Putin over Biden or Hillary or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's believable because this person is just ignorant.
I wish Trump would grab me by the pussy.
And so angry at his own country that he would wear something. Like, this is just self-deprecating on a level I don't understand.
I don't know. I would like some follow-up on this. I was unable to like source any full confirmation, but yeah, the photos look pretty fucking convincing to my eye. If you can spot any telltale signs of manipulation, please.
I got to
point
imagine
them
like
out.
this is probably a big thing for golfers. You think you're gonna leave the tee to go find a bathroom? No, you just let it slide out of the pant.
Yeah,
right there.
I've luckily, pooping on a golf course, that's hard because depending on the course, and
you're with a bunch of people.
You might have
waiting.
to play through like 2 or 3 holes until you get to a bathroom. So you see a lot of dudes just pissing in the bushes on the course. But yeah, poop's a different story.
Yeah. So maybe there is some truth to it. I don't know.
Anyways, in some other Trump news, Truth Social continues to be a tremendous source of great content for us and our show. And here is The Bite with some more of that. The head of the accounting firm in charge of keeping track of the former president's Trump Media and Technology Group, TMTG, which owns the far-right social media platform Truth Social, is astonishingly bad at typing out his own name. As the Financial Times reports, Ben F. Borgers, whose accountancy firm was hired by TMTG in 2022, misspelled his name 14 different ways in filings with the U.S. Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, PCAOB, including Ben F. Brogers, Blake F. Borgers, Ben F. Vonish, and Ben F. Orgers.
Yep.
Worse yet, the firm already has a lengthy track record of failing to meet regulatory standards, which, given the nature of Trump's flailing attempt at a social network, probably shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody.
And yeah, it turns out not knowing how to spell his own name is the least of this guy's problems, as he's apparently constantly getting in trouble with regulators for careless work. Probably thanks to the fact that he's the auditor for 170 companies and probably spread a bit thin.
Yeah. Let me see it looks good. Send it to the SEC.
Look, I've been in a lot of trouble recently, so I'm just going to misspell my name, and that way I'm completely...
My lawyer advised me that if I misspell my name every time I write it, I can't legally be held accountable for
this document doesn't, it's not valid anymore.
I'm Ben Borgers. This says it's
Ben Folgers or something.
Jeff Hamburgers.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that is.
Clearly not me.
Talk to them. Uh-huh. Anyway, I got 169 other companies to audit, so I'm
all
pretty
with
busy.
Different names, by the way.
But in other news from the world of MAGA, one of the wildest things to happen involving Trump's most high-profile supporters was, of course, back in September, when Congresswoman Lauren Boebert got caught on camera being a total shit show at a performance of the Beetlejuice musical, where she took big old puffs from a vape, got felt up by her date, gave her date an over-the-pants hand job, and just generally acted in ways unbecoming of a grandmother.
Yeah.
Because she is a grandmother. She is, I think, younger than me, but she is a grandmother. She later blamed everything on the fact that her date was a Democrat, and I guess he must have been a bad influence on her or something. But this is not a story that she will be living down anytime soon. And to demonstrate, here's the Daily Beast this week.
Representative Lauren Boebert packed her own bullhorn for a Wednesday trip to George Washington University, where protesters continue to occupy a liberation camp that they erected in support of Gazans nearly a week ago. But she didn't pack her running shoes. Otherwise, she might have been able to get away from the heckling students repeatedly shouting Beetlejuice at her.
Yes!
They need to be careful or he'll show up. They say it too many times.
Yeah. Don't say it exactly 3 times.
Each student can only say it once.
Yeah. Twice.
Twice even, but then you're getting
pushing
dangerously close.
Yeah.
But if there's enough students, you can continue the chant very long.
I love this.
Be careful, though.
Because she heard that shit. She knows exactly what they're saying.
Yeah. So the jeers, of course, were in reference to the time that Boebert got kicked out of his September performance of the musical Beetlejuice in Denver for vaping, singing along, and feeling up her date. The budding relationship did not survive the gleeful public shaming that followed. A real shame.
Boebert was filmed being led through the DC campus by her security team as members of the crowd sang Darth Vader's theme from Star Wars and chanted Beetlejuice. As she traversed the encampment, the Colorado Congresswoman came upon a statue of George Washington draped in a Palestinian flag. She grasped for the largest one, trying to rip it down. "This is America, and that shit needs to come down," she can be heard saying in a video taken by a witness. Eventually, Boebert let go and threw a hand up, unable to pull the flag off the statue.
They should have reversed it.
I thought her tug game was strong. She can't even pull a flag down? Damn.
They should have reversed it so it looked like she was putting the flag onto the statue.
Oh my gosh.
Missed opportunity. Meanwhile, here's some more news about the MAGA movement, their other favorite congresswoman, who was previously best buds with Lauren Boebert, but currently considers Boebert to be, Elliot, you say it, a bitch. In our previous episode this week, we covered the misinformed hysteria around all these campus protests, including a bill in Congress that would essentially make any criticism of Israel be classified as anti-Semitic hate speech. This would obviously be a fucking terrible idea that goes against just basic freedom of speech, and thankfully it looks like the bill might be in trouble thanks to someone who loves bringing the Jews into conversations in a negative way. Marjorie Taylor Greene and her Republican colleagues, they realized that their own, much more legitimately anti-Semitic views could also be criminalized.
Hold on now.
Jeez.
I was all in support of this when it meant I could throw like liberal college students in prison, but you're saying this might affect me as well?
We need to turn the Jewish space lasers onto this bill and have it just burn it alive.
That's right.
Here's the New York Times.
House Republicans rolled the bill out this week as part of their efforts to condemn the pro-Palestinian protests that have surged at university campuses across the country, and to put a political squeeze on Democrats, who they have accused of tolerating anti-Semitism to please their liberal base. But in trying to use the issue as a political cudgel against the left, Republicans also called attention to a rift on the right. Some GOP members said they firmly believe that Jews killed Jesus Christ, and argued that the bill, which includes such claims in its definition of anti-Semitism, would outlaw parts of the Bible. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, said she opposed the bill because it would convict Christians of anti-Semitism for believing the gospel that says Jesus was handed over to Herod to be crucified by the Jews.
The Jews killed Jesus thing has been used for centuries as a justification for discrimination and violence against the Jews, and it still is to this day, despite not really making a whole lot of sense. Jesus was Jewish, and Christian theology is pretty damn clear about the fact that Jesus' death was actually a good thing because it was basically Jesus offering himself as sacrifice to absolve humanity of its sins. It's a pretty central part of the whole Christianity thing that you claim to love so much. I mean, what do you think Jesus died for our sins meant? Anyway,
Something else, I guess.
This outrage has spread among the MAGA movement, and hopefully it kills this very dumb bill, even if it's for a very dumb reason. But let's move on now to a few pieces of very American news about a very American phenomenon. People being absurdly careless with firearms.
America.
Let's start with a story out of Florida that perfectly illustrates the divide in this country between people who see guns as harmless props and people who rightfully feel incredibly unsafe around that first group of people. Here's local news outlet WESH.
2 people are arrested in South Florida after police say they brandished rifles outside of a daycare. According to WSVN, Miguel Ruiz and Estrella Pereira are accused of removing 2 rifles from the trunk of a Corvette in the Devon Air Kitty College's parking lot, which is located in southwest Miami-Dade. Once we found out what was going on, we went into our mandatory procedure. We did our emergency procedure where we did a lockdown with all of our children, said a daycare worker. Police say Ruiz aimed the loaded weapon at the daycare as well as a mom picking up her child as Pereira took pictures of the scene.
A Miami-Dade police officer responded and immediately ordered both Ruiz and Pereira to the ground. The 2 were charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and exhibiting a firearm near school property. Estrella said it was a misunderstanding and she didn't know there was a daycare nearby. Really, we're not bad people. We will never harm anyone or anything. We're bodybuilders, and we're into the social media thing, YouTube channel, Instagram, so forth. And he thought it'd be cool to take a picture with a gun, because with muscles and guns, and it sounds really cool, like if you look at a photograph like that,
This person should definitely have access to as many guns as they want.
Because they're really cool, especially
They're really
muscles.
Cool. The muscles, the guns, the YouTube, the Instagram. I'm just trying to get clout here.
Yes.
What's the big deal? I thought this was America.
Your Honor,
You're saying there's things I can't point my gun at?
my client is a simple clout chaser. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
You're free to go.
So yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But hey, at the very least, these two didn't seem to actually intend harm to others despite putting them in danger. And
They
making
were
them
in
fear
danger
for their
because they
lives.
could have gone off.
Yeah. Putting a daycare into lockdown. We got to get these kids started early on understanding that they're at any moment someone can walk in and just gun them and everyone they know down.
Dystopian. But also, yeah, like the number one rule is like you don't point a gun at anything that you don't want to kill.
Yeah.
And so just like, even if it's not loaded, you have to, as a responsible gun owner, you have to assume that it is always loaded.
Yeah, because anyone who sees the gun is also going to assume it is.
Yeah.
But these people are more stupid than malicious. Very stupid.
Sure.
Stupid to the point that it is in effect malicious. On the other hand, we have this next story out of Maryland. Yet another case of a gun-toting American escalating a situation to lethal force over a minor inconvenience. We love to see it, don't we, folks? Here is the cycling news site, road.cc. Police arrested a motorist in the U.S. who allegedly fired 3 shots at 2 cyclists participating in a charity event, having earlier tried to run the riders off the road during a road rage attack. The incident happened on Saturday morning in Maryland on Hardesty Road in Huntingtown, the 2 cyclists part of the Ride to End Hunger event based out of the town. According to the Calvert County Sheriff's Office, at around 10:10 a.m., officers were called to the scene following reports that shots had been fired.
Following preliminary investigation, the force explained that a 66-year-old man from Huntingtown, David Earl Buston, had been arrested and charged on 4 counts in relation to the road rage incident. It is believed the charity cyclists were cycling along the road when the motorist swerved around them and attempted to run them off the road. Buston continued ahead and pulled into a driveway where he allegedly retrieved a shotgun and fired 3 shots towards the cyclists. Buston was arrested shortly afterward and is in custody, having been charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault and 2 counts of reckless endangerment.
Bustin' does not make me feel good.
Makes me feel sad and locked up.
Bustin' makes me feel scared.
It was just rock salt. It better have been.
Even if it was. And they didn't say it. I feel like they would have clarified if it was.
That was a constant threat growing up for me, like running around like crazy, like kids going through people's like yards and stuff.
I'll get you with the rock salt.
Yeah, there was, because there was like cow fields and shit like that near me. And that was a constant looming threat that I had to be on guard for, allegedly. I never got shot with it, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, those charges do seem a bit light considering that most people would consider firing a gun at people multiple times to be attempted murder.
You would assume that, yeah.
But in Maryland, their first-degree assault, it counts as a felony with a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. So at least this dipshit is facing some serious consequences and could potentially spend the rest of his life in prison.
Unless he's busting out.
Because he was like 5 minutes late for, I don't know where the fuck he was going.
Yeah, a minor inconvenience.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
People like
also, you wasted more time in your commute stopping and waiting for the cyclists so you could shoot at them.
Like, listen, there's definitely cyclists out there who are dicks.
Yes.
But I'd say more often people who are just trying to get from point A to point B on their bikes are treated like in this incredibly hostile way by drivers.
Makes them very angry.
Yeah, that's really why I have not ridden a bike in like years.
We have wonderful bike paths here that you should check out.
Yeah, we do, but like there's not enough of them, and like if you're going really anywhere beyond just like in your neighborhood, you do have to like at some point get into traffic, and it's just like I've had too many bad experiences or close calls.
Well, you remember when I got doored?
Yeah, you got doored. I got hit by a car once.
Oof.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, I flew into traffic. Luckily, it was a stoplight, so people were already slowing down. But like,
people just
could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Very treacherous.
Yeah.
But I do see the scale of like cars being dicks. Same scale on the bike paths here. If you're like just out for a walk, the bikes are like the top of the food chain, and they are fucking assholes.
Yeah, I mean,
some of them, not all of them. Obviously.
I understand where the aggression comes from, but like, yeah, so many of them take it to a point where, like, yes, you do run the risk of people just associating bicycles with assholes.
The worst are the bikes that are just actual motorcycles that they take on bike paths. They're just electric motorcycles.
Yeah,
it's
they go
kind of
like
dangerous.
50 miles an
It's kind of dangerous to blow by someone going 50 miles an hour. I've seen so many close calls with people walking their dogs.
Yeah.
And yes, they should absolutely be more attentive of their dogs on a bike path. On the other hand, dogs and kids are unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you're going that fast on a fucking bike path, bad things could probably happen.
Those speeds on those electric bikes, that's for the road. You can use the road now.
Also, they weigh like 10 times as much as a normal bike.
Yeah, a lot of mass.
Anyways, that guy's going to prison.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time
headlines.
for the headlines half of the show. We have the beautiful, lovely headlines half of the show where the news is from around the world. It's weird, it's wet, it's wild.
You did a good job.
And yeah. Here we go. Starting with Louvre considers moving Mona Lisa to underground chamber to end public disappointment.
It is kind of underwhelming.
The thing about the Mona Lisa is, like, we all know what it looks like. You can see a picture of it. It's really not even that impressive in digital form. Like, did you think there was going to be something special about it that you can only see in person? No, it's actually even worse in person because it's small. It's like 18 by 24. And I
don't even think it might not even be that big.
Yeah, I actually might be exaggerating. But like, I saw it in person once on accident. I was at the Louvre, and there's so much to see there. It's like
massive.
There's so much to see at the Louvre, in the ancient history stuff, the art stuff, and yeah, I'd spent hours in there, and I was finally like, oh fuck, like look at the time. I should probably at least like take a stroll through the Renaissance art section, and so much great stuff. So many lovely works of art, and I'm walking and I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? And it's just this crowd of like 200 people, all with their fucking phones up, taking pictures of the Mona Lisa, or like waiting in line for like
a selfie
for like an hour just to like stand in front of it and go like this.
Yes.
It's very strange. So they're talking about putting it in this giant chamber underground, this giant room with just the Mona Lisa on the wall, so it won't disturb anyone else, and also it won't attract anyone who isn't already like, I need to get a selfie with the Mona Lisa.
You should, they should do like the Vatican, where they don't let you take pictures of it.
That would never work though. Like, because even in the Vatican,
they bring you into an area that is controlled.
Well, even in the Vatican, there's people constantly trying to do it.
Oh yeah, no, they have to keep yelling at them.
Stop it. And and like, it just wouldn't work with the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
They need like bouncers.
Yeah. But it is a fascinating sight, folks. If you ever get a chance to go down to the Louvre.
It's a tremendous museum.
And it's just very funny to see. It's like at the Rembrandt Museum, there's the one Rembrandt that everyone goes to see. I can't remember the fucking name of it. It's gigantic. The Night's Watch, something like that. Anyways.
They're all good.
People are literally just congregated around that. And it's kind of nice because you have the whole rest of the museum to yourself.
That's weird, man.
Yeah. Anyways, put them down in chamber.
Yeah.
To fend off tourists, a town in Japan is building a big screen blocking the view of Mount Fuji. Wow, tourism ruins everything. You got the Mona Lisa going into the underground. Yeah. You got a big screen that's going to block the view of Mount Fuji.
This is just like some random small town that like no one gave a shit about until like influencers realized it has a great vantage point for Mount Fuji. Like, and it's like a one road town. So all these people started fucking showing up, and like it's just causing like chaos for this town. They're like, fuck it, no, we're just gonna build a giant like veil so no one can see Mount Fuji anymore. How do you like that? Get the hell out of here.
Again, the movie The Last Tourist, you should definitely watch, at least so you're aware of like how much it sucks to be a town where people just have come in and ruin it. Specifically towns that aren't built for tourism.
Yeah.
Like all those islands off of like Thailand or whatever. Yeah.
Yakuza lieutenant arrested in Tokyo for stealing Pokemon cards.
I mean, pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds ridiculous at first until you realize that Pokemon cards are, that is basically currency.
I mean, yeah, in some cases more valuable than...
Untraceable.
Yeah.
There's no serial numbers, unlike cash. So...
Are there not?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe there are. I feel like if you get it graded, there's.
I don't know. Maybe
the ones that are so
maybe the
rare,
holograms
it
have
has
some sort
to be,
of hidden.
Yeah.
But the Yakuza, I mean, they're not entirely just in the business of busting skulls and running protection rackets. They are very diversified, and I guess one of their revenue streams is stealing Pokemon cards and reselling them on the black market.
Yeah. I'm a card dealer. I have
sure,
no
like,
affiliation with these gangs.
When you first join the Yakuza and like they cut off your finger and make you get like do all the rituals and stuff, they're like, all right, well, no, you're not doing any cool stuff. You're gonna go sit in that room over there and open these packs of cards, and any of them got holograms on them. You put them in this pile. Any of them don't, put them in this pile. And we're watching you.
Do you think that any of those streams that just do that are like fronts for actual black market stuff where they're like, yeah, we're making money by you streaming opening it, which is great.
Yeah.
But also anything that you find that's worth anything, you put it in that pile and we'll go take care of it.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like Russia has like the porn, they have like buildings where there's like a bunch of rooms where it's just like live streaming porn.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole operation. It might be the same for that. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Mario Kart ride-on racer toys recalled after multiple crashes from stuck accelerator pedals. What is going on with electric cars? Electric cars of all sizes and shapes.
I love how it's not like the other way around. It's actually like Mario Kart toys are built as bad as the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
That's the test for how bad something is constructed. Also, did you see the guy do the finger shot test again?
Yeah, he hurt his finger real bad. He put too much faith in that car. He's like, yeah, they issued a patch for the Cybertruck. Now it won't slice your hand off when you close the hood. And he's like, it was stupid too, because he used a banana and it stopped on the banana and turned out. He used a carrot and it still destroyed the carrot. And he's like, all right, well, maybe it'll stop for my finger. And he puts his finger there and starts closing. He's like, ah! It finally turns around after like 5 seconds of resistance. And he's like, I don't know, my finger looks pretty, and it does look pretty messed up.
Yeah.
He's going to have a pretty bad bruise on that.
What would you rather do? Would you rather put your finger in and trust the frunk of the Cybertruck or touch it against one of those table saws that stops immediately?
Table saw.
I think I'd take the table saw too.
Yeah, those are made by trustworthy companies. I've never heard
whose good name is on the line.
I've never heard of that feature failing, and I've watched so many YouTube videos of people like demonstrating it. It's an expensive thing to demonstrate because it destroys the entire blade apparatus, but you save your finger.
Yeah,
and these guys will have this thing going at like 10,000 RPMs, and they're like, "Here we go," and they get like a tiniest scratch. Mm-hmm. The way it works is like there's an electrical current, and like the second that current breaks, this like giant brake pad hits in like a millisecond.
Yeah,
it's cool. So yeah, I would stick my finger in the table saw.
Well, you heard it here first. Yeah. Catholic priest in Pennsylvania spent $40,000 of church money on Candy Crush, Mario Kart, and Pokemon Go.
Yeah, dude, he took the church credit card and just added it to his Apple account.
Remember when those ladies did that in Vegas a couple years ago?
Yeah, those nuns it was nuns working at like a school, and they for years had like been taking just like the big bag of cash in the school safe and like going to Vegas and blowing the money.
Yeah.
And like eventually people were like looking, the books were so fucked up. They're like, what's going on?
This week we're way over.
Yeah.
Last week we were way down. I'd like to think the two stories that we just covered kind of intersect. Like they caught him doing this, so they put him in a Mario Kart that had a stuck accelerator pedal.
Yeah, that's your punishment.
Yeah.
You know what solves
this? And we
this?
never heard from the priest again.
An AI priest would never do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is why we need Father Justin back in the robes.
It might give slightly bad advice, but it's never going to steal money.
He's not going to fuck any kids, and he's not going to embezzle money from the church for mobile games.
Perfect.
Yeah. California superintendent fired for allegedly threatening students who didn't clap for her daughter.
Please clap.
This is crazy. This woman destroyed her career.
Yeah.
Like, she has a fucking PhD in education. And, her daughter was on, like, the fucking basketball team or something. And at the annual, like, end of the season awards ceremony, everyone clapped. But I guess the clapping wasn't enough. And just immediately started, like, threatening the teammates, being like, I can have you banned from graduation. How would you like that? And then, like, during the investigation for it, it turned out, like, the previous year, when her daughter was like a junior in high school, like another girl that her daughter didn't get along with, she got her like banned from all the entire like sports program. Like right before her senior year. Like this.
You don't mess with a mama bear, Elliot.
Yeah, like what are you
You don't
doing?
mess with her cubs.
And
you
like,
clap for those cubs.
Yeah, it's fucked up, and it's just like such a stupid way to like abuse your power.
This is like every couple of months we get a story of like a psycho mom doing something, but in this case, a superintendent, but like usually just a overprotective mom doing something horrific down at the local school.
I gotta protect the pack.
To somehow defend her daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, it's a weird phenomenon. I mean, you see it a lot as a kid, where like some kids' parents are just like, doesn't matter how evil their children are, how in the wrong their kids are in any situation, their kid can never be wrong and must be defended by any means necessary.
Whew. Substitute teacher admits to giving Eisenhower student vape to make friend, documents say. Yeah, you know, they used to pass around an olive branch, but kids these days, they want the vape.
You come in, you're a substitute teacher, and the kids are like, who the fuck is this? We better be watching a movie today. I don't want to learn shit. Yeah. And yeah, you just you got this hostility. And you know what's great for breaking the ice? Say, hey, you want to puff with this, what do they call them, milk bars?
I don't know, but
I would say the ones that, one of our friends had one of those at like the Super Bowl party. I guess he had bought it illegally. Behind the counter.
Okay.
But yeah, I took a puff of it and I was like, Jesus, it was like breathing in. It was like sticking your head in a cotton candy machine and just like breathing in for like. No,
I would have assumed that these kids would have been like, shut up, old man. We dip Zin now.
You got any Zin?
Yeah, where's all the Zin? Yeah, I hope you brought enough Zin for the whole class.
I tried one of those recently and that shit is.
No thanks.
This shit's wild.
I quit all that shit years ago and I don't even want to fucking touch it.
People are apparently switching to Zyn to like get off the nicotine and I'm like, that's not gonna fucking work.
No, you're gonna be loving that nicotine.
Shit is so strong.
Yeah.
And you can do it anywhere. You can do it even more incognito than you can with vaping.
And buddy, it's gonna give you cancer the same way.
Yeah,
not exactly the same way, but
I mean, at least it's not dip.
True.
But it's still not good.
No. Don't do it. Just don't even start.
I get why baseball players do it.
Kids, just don't start.
Yeah.
It's really not worth it. Look, does it like bring the group together?
Does it make you look really cool?
Does it make you look really cool? Does it bring you together with your friends?
Does it give you a reason to like go outside on breaks at your job?
Does it offset?
Is it a great way to meet friends?
Yeah, if you're getting hunger pains, is it a good way to offset those hunger pains?
Absolutely.
I mean, sure.
It's a great way to keep you below your target weight. Yes.
I am telling you right now, don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
It was a terrible addiction, and I'm happy that I do not do it. That's right. Don't smoke tobacco.
You heard it here, folks. There is no good reason other than the various good reasons we just gave you.
Also, weed is everywhere. And even Joe Biden was like, give him the weed.
Yeah.
So, there's no reason.
Yeah, it is a good time for weed.
Yeah.
My friend worked at a convention, and at the end of the convention, one of the booths was like for a distributor of THC beverages. Mm-hmm. So she got just this giant box of free weed drinks, and she's like, I don't want this. Do you guys want this? I'm like, hell yeah. I've been drinking they're like, they taste like cocktails. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They're like little cocktails with like, you know exactly how much THC is in it.
Yeah,
it's like,
Pabst Blue Ribbon makes them as well. But there's no alcohol in it. It's just weed.
Yeah, no, these don't have alcohol.
Yeah.
They taste like they do though. But like, it's like 5 milligrams. It's like the perfect amount for like, it's the end of the day. I want to like sleep nice, but not still feel high in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great time to switch to marijuana.
But you just missed 420. Every dispensary in LA was just like, just take it. Take everything.
Yeah, but they all had like lines and shit.
That was crazy. At 6 a.m, there was a line.
You can get it any day. Any day.
Anyways, Pennsylvania man receives $34 billion tax bill. IRS investigating.
Yeah, that does seem a bit unusual. We will look into that and get back to you.
Yes.
Just make sure that you don't, in fact, owe $34 billion.
Yeah.
Because, you probably didn't, but just quick question. Did you make $100 billion last year? Because if you did, this would kind of line up with the tax code.
Oh, you didn't?
You didn't?
Oh, okay.
Well, we're going to check on that and make sure, just in case, we're the IRS.
Yes.
Just got to dot our I's, cross our T's. We'll get back to you.
But I'm sure it was a very stressful letter to get in the mail.
They said like the official IRS form, like the number was so long that it went to the next line.
Yeah.
And the guy seemed to be in good spirits. He's like, this is so high that it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not even like worth worrying about.
He's like, Wesley Snipes has nothing on me, which is that's a callback to like 20 years ago when Wesley Snipes owed like an insane amount of money to the IRS from not paying his taxes for like 10 years. Chiropractor thrilled to adjust largest neck in the world.
Did he do a running jump to do it?
It was a giraffe.
Yeah. Oh, it was a giraffe.
Yeah. He adjusted this guy's apparently an animal chiropractor, which like any chiropractor, get the fuck away from me. But especially a chiropractor working on an animal, no. Get the hell away. But I guess they had this giraffe and like they could tell that it hadn't turned its head a certain way in a while. So they called up the animal chiropractor. And luckily, like a giraffe is so fucking big that it would probably be impossible for this man to kill the giraffe the way that chiropractors often do. Mm-hmm. Do not do it. Don't risk it. But seems to have done the job. The giraffe seemed pretty happy about it. In this case, chiropractic worked out. But it's only a matter of time until this man...
I'm sure the animal acupuncturist next that was standing there with the needles was like,
damn it.
It was almost my time. I was going to prove myself. And the cupping guy is right behind me.
Yeah, chiropractic... I mean, people only go to a chiropractor when like shit gets to that point. And like, yeah, at that point, I understand like, you're just looking for anything that fucking works. Yeah. But if you just, if you want to avoid that shit, just use a foam roller like a couple days a week. You will never, I started doing that like a few months back. I have not had back problems since, like at all.
There you go.
Just saying. And final headline. Cher says, I date younger guys because men my age are all dead.
I think statistically she might be right.
Yeah, she's 77.
Yeah.
I mean,
average male age is what, 70?
Her boyfriend is 38 years old.
Good for her, I
guess.
That is a problematic age gap.
And she went on Twitter, of course, and used a million emojis to let people know, I don't give a shit what you think about me and the man that I love. The man that I love right now back in the day, Cher, she dated a lot of guys. Uh-huh. Not just Sonny Bono. She dated like Greg Allman. Uh-huh. She dated, I'm drawing a blank.
She was a hot commodity, folks.
She was.
I feel like you said he was 38?
Yeah.
I think that's like safely in the territory of like, all right, well that's an actual decision being made by someone whose brain is fully formed.
It absolutely
I think anything below like probably like mid-20s is like, all right, that's clearly you're taking advantage of someone.
Age gap discourse is so funny because, like, yes, I mean,
they're infantilizing people that are in their 30s.
Like, age gap discourse is warranted when we're talking about someone who, like, yes, has not fully like developed into an adult and can be taken advantage of in many ways. But yeah, it's like, once you're past that point,
they're both probably getting something out of this.
Like a 38-year-old and a 77-year-old. It's a bit unusual, but sure. I'm sure they're both getting plenty out of the relationship.
Yeah.
It's not my business.
But he does have to go through those draft tweets and tone down the emojis a little bit. No one talks like that.
But the chussy makes it all worth it.
The Cher vagina?
The shussy. Shussy. That's shussy.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. If you want a much more serious episode to watch, we did do a news dump episode all about the college campus protests. But make sure you like this video first of all.
Yeah, please hit the like button. I think we forgot to do that last time, and oh my God.
What?
Could have been a disaster. But enough of you made sure to do it anyway.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then go back and like the other videos too.
Make sure, go back to every single video we've ever posted.
Make
a day of it.
I was watching the protest one specifically because that one is one that I'm actually worried about getting. It does seem to have stalled at a certain point, but I think it's also because I'm paying more attention to it than normally. But make sure you're liking the videos. It makes us very happy. If you're feeling frisky, say the first of the month just passed, you probably got paid. Hit the join button. Become a member of the channel.
Do it.
But yes, we do have the protest video up there, and we have another video if you want some more lighthearted, fun stuff. Well, not fun, but we make fun of it. The AI video from Tech News Day
that story is also horrible. So, yeah, a bunch of horrible news. Check it out.
Bye.
Bye.